Vijay Nambiar, Special Advisor to Secretary General on Myanmar. Thank you so much, sir, for this interview. We appreciate it. You just have come back in early September from Myanmar after talking to officials there. Do you see that the government is putting more efforts into easing the tensions between the Buddhist and the Muslims communities in Myanmar?
Well, you know, you have to see this in the context of the broader changes that are taking place in Myanmar. There have been fairly dramatic changes that have taken place in the economy, in terms of democratization, in terms of amnesties, in terms of release of political prisoners. Over the last 2 years, in fact, there have been dramatic developments taking place.
In the right direction.
In the right direction of democratization. But in the process, unfortunately, also certain of the opening up of society has yielded up certain narrow stereotypes also, and that has actually been in some places exaggerated and aggravated. Now, the case of the situation which took place last year of violence, the outbreak of violence, which was actually in a sense a normal law and order problem, which actually became a major problem of communal tension, was actually aggravated by a whole series of factors, including what was the old existing factor of the status of the Rohingya community in Rakhine. Now, unfortunately, the way in which the things got out of hand, and there were certain problems in terms of dealing with the situation, which led to an aggravation of tension. The government has realized that this is affecting both the national prestige as well as it has the possibility of undermining the entire reform process. So they are taking some action, but
Is it enough?
It's not. I don't think it is enough as yet, and it has not actually assuaged the strong sense of vulnerability which is faced by the Muslim community. In fact, over the last year it has spread to other parts of the country, and it is important. I've been on at least 3 or 4 occasions when I was there. I have actually been personally present in some of the affected neighborhoods.
What did you see there?
In March, for example, just when I visited the place, there was a major outbreak which took place in Miktila, and I found that this was a place which was not where the status of the Muslim minorities community was not in question. They have been there for generations, if not centuries, and yet there was a kind of a backlash of some of the political issues relating to Rakhine, which also got extended there. I think there is now a strong need, and I think that is being recognized by the government and in fact by some elements even in the Buddhist community, that there needs to be more interfaith contact, dialogue. When I was there in March, in fact, I was able to get together with the help of the government also supported this, a meeting of the senior Buddhist leaders, senior Muslim leaders, members of the senior leaders of the Catholic Christian community, and they got together and said that we must take proactive action to prevent this. But the fact is, there are still certain elements which are actually moving in the opposite direction. Some organizations have also crept up within the majority community, which are actually practicing hate, literature, and spreading a certain sense of vulnerability.
For what purpose? For what purpose?
It is strange that there is, even among the majority community, there is a sense of victimhood. I mean, this is in a very, there's a strange feeling of their being at the receiving end of large-scale migration, large-scale overwhelming of the population. This, we have mentioned to them that this is something which has to be viewed in the larger context of globalization, etc. And I think the future of the world has to be seen in terms of harmony between the faiths. And I think they are realizing it.
How do you see the UN priorities?
The UN has been working over the years in trying to bring about greater democratization, greater national reconciliation between the ethnic groups. You must realize that they also have a problem of major armed ethnic groups who've been fighting for the last 60 years, and slowly that process is also going on between Myanmar, that is the Burman majority, and some of the ethnic groups, in order to bring the periphery into the mainstream and to have a larger amount of both power sharing and resource sharing among the main community and the ethnic groups. Now this, the communal situation is a different thing which affects basically the western part of the country, and I think that is connected also with the question of the status and citizenship questions of the Rohingya community.
You've been to the country now more than once. You're going again next month, as I understand. The reports in the press, are they exaggerating the suffering? I mean, you've been there, you've seen it. Or are they factual?
I think there is an inevitable tendency in this, especially with the growth of social media, for some of these reports to be exaggerated. But this is not to suggest that the basic sense of insecurity among the community, particularly among the what is called the Bengali community, it's really the Rohingya community in Rakhine, that their vulnerabilities are unreal or exaggerated. I think they do have a strong sense, and I did meet even recently when I went to Rakhine, I did talk to some of them. They have a strong sense that they need, one, restitution of the properties that has been denied to them, the land which they had to be able to reoccupy. They would not want to remain in the IDP camps indefinitely. They don't want to be ghettoized. These are real issues which they need to, and of course, in addition, there is the question of the status. I've been in touch with the Minister for Immigration and Population Affairs.
What does he say to you?
He is seriously looking, and the government has come out very strongly. The President has come out more than once to talk about the need, that equality and treatment of all the citizens, and he has even said that the perpetrators will be brought to book in terms of the rule of law, etc. The Minister for Immigration is looking at both the immediate problem of the displaced people,
IDPs, yeah.
IDPs in the camps, to get them, particularly in the context of the monsoons, etc., for them, their situation to be better, to get them more education, school access to education, and to a better standard of living. But also, he is looking at certain measures to be able to give them greater security in terms of their status, and progressively to be able to verify the actual, and he does say that many of them have been here. They are not illegal migrants. They have been here for several decades, and the question is really regularization of their status.
You sound optimistic, sir, about the future possibilities of resolving this conflict.
I think we cannot afford not to be optimistic. My optimism is more as a determination that that is the only way ahead. If we are going to paint a gloomy picture, that they're going to be, it is a somber picture. But I wouldn't say it is a gloomy picture. I think it's a somber picture, and there is great vulnerability. But I think one has to be optimistic, and I feel that there is goodwill between the communities. I've spoken to them myself. I sense that there is a willingness. They want to look forward and not backward. They want to be able, but there is still, within the Muslim communities, I still sense, and I've told the leaders also, a strong sense of vulnerability which has to be addressed. The sense of accountability also has to take place. People who have actually perpetrated acts have to be punished. That has to happen. Only then will there be a sense of assuagement of the sense of insecurity, and a sense of justice that will prevail.
Vijay Nambiar, Special Advisor to the Secretary General on Myanmar. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.